The following program is for mature audiences only. None of the information provided is intended to be medical or any other professional advice requiring licensing through any regulatory agency. It is for entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Amy Satori. I'm an intuitive spiritual counselor assisting in raising the vibration of our planet. I was born with extraordinary gifts, experienced enlightenment for 6 months years ago, speak light language, and channel a being called Celeste, who is an ambassador for a galactic council of 60. I am able to scan your energy field for emotional blockages and talk to or aid in the healing of your organs using Qigong energy healing. I can also help you make decisions, talk to your pets, deceased loved ones, and your friends and family's higher selves. I can help you navigate your relationships and answer pressing questions in your life by talking with the unseen world. I use these skills I've developed to translate the images, feelings, impressions, and messages I'm given while tuning into you and your situation. I work Thursday through Saturday as a psychic for the Lighthouse Bookstore downtown Boulder, Colorado, and conduct remote readings all over the world. You can order a private reading from my website at amysatori.com. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow me here on Podbean, Instagram, my 1111 Twin Flame Forum on Facebook, and YouTube. Set a reminder in your phone to call live on the show any Sunday, 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central, or 8:30 Eastern, to ask me a question, receive a blessing, or have me do some energy work on you. So, my friends, without further ado, let's get to today's show. And thank you for listening to and watching the Satori Show this evening, or this morning, wherever you are. I have that song stuck in my head, I'm in love with your body. And I'm just like, it just keeps popping in my head like all day. I wanted to recommend a children's book series. It's an old children's book series, but it is just the coolest. I had them when I was little. And I actually, at one point, I asked Stephen Cosgrove, one of the authors. There's like an author, and then I think there's a co-author too, Robin. Anyway, I contacted Stephen Cosgrove and asked him if I could do some like storytelling online using his Serendipity books. They're called Serendipity. Look them up. I'll put like a little picture of one of the covers of one of my favorites, like when I go to post this online so you guys can see it. But they are the cutest books because they're really sweet. They have a really sweet moral at the end with a poem, and it just leaves you thinking, and you got like warm fuzzies at the end. It's really, really a cute little children's series for those of you looking to get maybe some Christmas gifts for children or anything like that. I went to look for mine to show you guys, but somehow in the shuffle, they've gotten lost. So sorry about that. I'll give you some kind of a picture, though. Anyway, yeah, so I had to deal with Stephen Cosgrove to get online, and this was probably it would have been like, it was a while ago. He had to talk to his attorneys and everything to allow me to read the books. I thought that it would be really neat to put children to bed every night reading some stories to them, Serendipity books. And it was such a sweet idea, but we got permission and everything, and then I didn't do it. I don't know why I didn't do it. Just one of those things, I guess, that wasn't meant to be. Stephen, if you're watching this, I mean, I don't know if I'd even want to do that now, but back then I was just, that was where my heart was, and that's what I wanted to do. But I just thought, there are so many children out there that aren't being read to at night before they go to bed. And it's just so reassuring, and just, it's just something special when you get to hear a book when you go to bed when you're a kid. It's sweet. So I thought if I could be that person for that child or those children who don't have a parent doing that for them, then I wanted to do that. Anyway, so let's take our first caller tonight. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I have a question. I saw your video. You said, with good questions. So the question I like was, what can I do to better align with my fullest potential. And I know that's a little deep, like to try to do it in 3 minutes, but I've been doing a lot of healing work, self-help courses, spiritual courses, over 20 years, and I'm still struggling as far as career goes. But I know sometimes sometimes people pop later in life. So whatever comes will be great.
Okay, and you want it to be in relation to your career?
Yes.
What are you doing right now currently?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So I have some ideas. I'm writing a book and stuff like that, but...
Oh, that's funny that I started off that way.
I'm just, whatever comes to mind. I know it's a little kind of deep. Maybe I'll call you for a personal reading. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get this. I get this question all the time.
Yeah.
But what was your line of work before you were writing a book and taking this time off?
I'm doing office work here and there.
Okay.
I did take, I did go to school and stuff, but I never did them, whatever I studied for. So.
Okay. Okay, hang on a minute.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like there's something having to do with helping children somehow. That's funny. Even if it's voluntary, there's something about that. Okay. It's like just what you get back when you give to a child. It's that. You need that. It's getting out of a feeling of I got to do something to make money and just giving because you can. And so I feel like one of the places that I would start if I were you is finding out some kind of program, a volunteer program or something you can get. I was involved with kids in school. You can be kind of a mentor or something that way. Okay. And you spend an hour with a child once a week, and you're just kind of the one they can talk to about things. There's all kinds of programs like that.
Okay.
And it's very special, and you can make a big difference for a kid. Also, man, I feel like there's something big coming up for you over Christmas, something volunteer. And I know that's not, it's like sometimes the things I pick up on are the things that are going to get you on the path. They're not your ultimate, obviously that's not the only thing you were here to do on the planet. But in terms of how you can go deeper into your fulfillment, how you can go deeper into what you were here to do, I feel like getting into the, going deeper with your feelings and your emotions and somehow working with children is going to kind of crack you open in some really profound ways.
Okay.
So I would look into some programs wherever you are and get involved with children. And that might be a really great way to also build your network for when you said your book is a children's book?
Not children's
or is
book,
it just,
but it could be utilized as that. It's about, it's about future stuff and energy, so probably would fit into teenagers and stuff like that.
Okay, let me feel into your book for a minute.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people write, but I'm getting that.
No, yes, I meant yes, not no.
Right.
You're definitely, I feel preteen. What I'm getting is I had kind of a mentor that I looked up to. Her name was Margaret Henry. Probably nobody on the planet would know who she is. She wrote Misty from Chincoteague and some other horse books. I was really into horses when I was little. Right. And I even wrote letters to her and everything. So, but she wrote for preteens, and I definitely feel like that's your target. And so you could even
it's not a waste of time.
What was that?
It's not like a hobby. It's it could go somewhere.
Right. Exactly.
Writing. Okay. Good.
Yeah. But
that's
what I mean.
Out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you start aligning with what you're kind of here to do and what really resonates with you, I mean, aside from what I'm telling you, I would definitely just be pulled toward what says yes to you. Like, what do you feel passionate about? What do you feel excited about? I have a video. It's called like September Love Energies or something, and I think I actually did a separate video also on. No, I didn't. But in the September Energies video, you could go back and listen to that. It's about how to listen to your higher self as they guide you along, kind of thing.
Okay.
But I mean, that's what I'm picking up on. But like I said, they want you to get out of thinking about yourself and earning a living, even though this is going to actually supply that for you. They really want you to go through some kind of an emotional boot camp with children. So I would focus there. I would start focusing on volunteering there. And honestly, earning money is an energetic thing anyway. And when you feel really happy about what you're doing and what you're giving, then the money just starts coming in. So if the money isn't just coming in like that, fairly naturally, when you start to do it, then I would say that that's not it. But if you've been doing it for a while and it really feels like you're getting in a groove and your heart is like doing these things that I've been explaining, like it starts expanding and, you start feeling like things are shifting for you in a positive direction, then that's the right track. But I feel like it is. And I feel like it's also, like I said, going to hook you in with like a network of people. You could even put on, I would do like, once you write the book, do some storytelling at libraries and do some free talks and things so you can attract parents and children and have your, talk to these parents about the book you're writing and stuff like that. Like just start making some connections with that age group. And hey, they want to say something about the energy work you're going to be doing or the energy work you're going to be talking about in there.
It's like I'm channeling a lot of it, so I feel like it's for the kids in the future,
It is, and it just feels like also to kind of focus on, I'm getting the word magician, and I'm seeing like a magic wand.
Yeah.
So help children realize that they can manifest anything they want to if they can just dream about it and imagine it into being. Kids have the most incredible imagination. And if they can learn not to, a lot of parents like shame that. They're like, no, don't talk to your imaginary friend or your,
Which is like all of
but
us.
if you can actually, right. So, but if you cultivate that in children, and if you show, encourage them to be proud of it, I'm actually going to invite a dad on here soon. I don't know where his number is right now, but I will find it. And I've asked him to come on the show and talk about like being a consciously minded dad that is trying to raise his kids in a way that really empowers them that way, using their intuition and manifesting and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's going to, yeah. And E2 Squared and those types of books.
Yeah.
Where they give you little like experiments to do. I feel like you're going to do that. It's like, you're going to teach the children, I'm a magician, and here's how to make something happen, and then give them little simple exercises to do, to where kind of like a science experiment where they can actually see that they were able to make it happen.
Right. It's sort of like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, so make it more like that if it isn't already, because that was from Spirit.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me see something else for a minute. Something about being held. Some of these kids that you're going to be writing this book for aren't going to have had like a lot of physical contact. So
yeah, but it's like with the AI world, it's going to be like, the future. It's a lot of AI thing. So it would be like that type,
Okay. So they're
let me stop
saying
interrupting you. Continue, sorry.
I get that a lot.
I know. Jesus. Okay.
So it's like it just feels like you should have something in the book that gives them the experience of a hug, or like gives them the feeling of being hugged, or like a virtual hug. Something about being held, like even if they weren't held much as a child or that kind of thing, like they can experience it. I don't know what that's about, but I guess that will come up.
Right.
At some point. It's like, you know, we kind of take those things for granted, you guys. It's like we think that everybody's getting hugs and kisses before bed, and that we're getting that every kid out there is getting that kind of love. And I think that the people, you know, the kids that will gravitate towards your books, they just, I think a lot of them will not have had that kind of contact or not a whole lot of it. So just make them feel loved, I guess. Just make them feel touched and loved.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll definitely keep in touch.
Okay,
and definitely
so
I'll look forward to that video thing that you could do with that guy.
Oh, yeah, that'd be so awesome. He's such an amazing dad.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Alrighty,
yeah,
thank you.
keep your eyes out. Okay, bye. I am actually going to have a guest coming on in my celebrity series on Wednesday, Ash Ruiz. If you guys remember Menudo, the band Menudo, I think it was like in the, I don't know, early 80s, he could tell you. But, you know, he's made several albums, and he's just he was going to do a Vegas show recently, and he's a friend of mine, so he's going to come on and talk about what it's like to be famous and what it's like to have girls chasing after you. And he has a really funny story that I'm going to ask him to share about that as well. So you guys can look forward to that as well. Let me get the next caller. Hello.
Hello, hi, Amy.
Hi.
I have a question. I'm so happy to talk to you. I'm a fan of your work, and I really love what you do and how you help us all throughout this journey that we're all in. I have a supervisor who is attempting to exercise her power by delaying my promotion, and I kind of want to ask, like, what message your spirit has regarding her behavior. And in this current work that I have, I had a similar situation happen to me last year, and I've always taken the high road, and I'm continuing to do that as well with her. And our boss seems to be aware of her behavior, but I'm not sure, like, would she be successful in delaying my promotion, or would my boss act in a positive way?
Okay. So I think the first question we want to ask is are you going to get the promotion, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting a yes. I'm getting a yes, but it's like, okay, so I would say about 95%. I feel like your boss is going to, like, push it over the edge. And I'm going to pull a card on it right now. Judgment card. Yep. He's going to make a judgment call on your behalf.
Okay.
So,
okay. How does she feel about, our boss feel about my supervisor's behavior towards me and her, you know, her reasoning for delaying my promotion?
Okay, hang on just a minute. Let me tune into her. Tell me the one who's acting atrociously, because that's what your boss said she's acting like.
Yeah, so that's one. I have two supervisors, and they're both friends. And the one that is doing my promotion is the one that I was supposed to originally take on, like, a large percentage of her work, and like, I think 70%. And when it was, our boss gave her a specific deadline to confirm that after she completed the training with me on the 24th of last month, to let her know whether to proceed forward or not with my promotion. And we were both supposed to be getting promotion at the same time. And she kind of told me that she's going to delay my promotion because she's just not convinced that I could be able to do her job. And I was just taken aback a little bit, and I was like, okay.
Okay.
So I don't know what's her reasoning. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Okay. I actually think she's got some issues going on. I think she's really insecure, and I think she could be jealous. I think she could even think that you would do her job even better than her. She doesn't want anybody looking at that and saying, "Oh my gosh, you know, like, why did she do so much better than you?" I think she's actually thinking of leaving. I feel like her trying to sneak out the back door while she can. I don't know. It kind of feels like she's been hiding something. It's really weird. Like, she's like, I want to leave before I'm caught. Maybe it's that you have integrity and she's been doing something sneaky she'll get caught for. It just feels like I just want to, I just want to appease everybody and kind of sneak out the back door before anybody knows that I did it. It's really kind of, it's kind of strange. But I don't think it has anything to do with your ability to do the job. I feel like you could totally do the job. In fact, I think you would be very responsible. I feel like you'd do it better than her. People, it's amazing how much people lie and what they're hiding. But
does our boss, will they be found out that people will find out about it? Would our boss find that she's lying, or that leadership within the university?
I'm not getting really strong yes. I think that they'll suspect. I think that they'll wonder, but I'm not sure that they'll find something that's really, that's really a strong evidence. I don't think they'll be able to convict her or anything, unfortunately. And I don't think it's a big deal. It's more like she doesn't really know what she's doing. She's been pretending or something. It makes me think of like Office Space.
Yeah.
You know how he wasn't really doing anything and they like promoted him. And they were like, it kind of almost feels, it's really weird. It just has a weird feel to it like that. Your boss above her?
Yeah.
Is that a male?
It's a woman. She's a very gentle lady. The way that she carries herself is very gentle and feminine, and she's more like before she speaks, she's someone that she takes her time. She thinks about it, then she responds.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of like has that calm energy about her.
Perfect. Okay, so let me feel her.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can you hear?
I just had the word Slim Shady, or like, Slim Shady jumped in my head. I think I think you have raised a red flag for her that she already knew was there. So I think she's watching her real close. And I think she's watching her real close, and I think that that one is getting really uncomfortable. It was like, she's like, shit, this has really backfired on me. I told her she wasn't getting the promotion because she wasn't good enough, and blah, blah, blah. And now she's gone to the big boss, and the big boss is watching me, and now I'm going to get figured out. I see her like frantically. I feel like she can't sleep. I feel like she's looking through like ads and newspapers and everything, like trying to scramble to get a job. She's not even like asking her friends or telling her friends that she's looking for a job. She's got her ego tied up in it too. Like, she wants to save face, so she doesn't want anyone, like, why are you wanting to leave? You like that job, blah, blah, blah. She's going to be more like, oh, I left for a much better opportunity. So she's looking to come up with that next thing. And I feel like your gentle boss is kind of just observing her, and she's feeling it, and she's like, oh, she can see right through it. I don't know what this big secret is, but I feel like you're gonna get to take the job. You're gonna get the promotion.
Not her job, but something better than her, or will I take on her job?
Is it gonna be her job or a better job?
That's good. And would I be happy with the increase in pay? Because right now I make very low for my qualification. I have an education, but I don't make. And I'm still obtaining my master's. And
okay, let me come up with a percentage. How much of an increase is this going to be for her? How much of an increase for what she's making right now? Like, how much more will she make? 15%.
15% than what I'm making now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But hold on though, because they're saying something about it going up from there. I think you're gonna. Oh, okay. So, okay. Huh? This is interesting. Well, we'll see how this plays out. But it looks like you go into maybe your boss's job for a little while, and that's the 15%. and then it's like you go up to the other opportunity like months after that, or like just a little while after that, and that one's like a 30% increase from what you're making right now. So you go 15 and then you do 30.
Okay.
Within a year, let's put it this way, within a year you're making 30% more than what you make now at that company. You do have other opportunities you could look into, though, outside of that company. But I feel like that's a good solid. I mean, I like it there.
You like it there?
I mean, yeah.
I would like I would want it to be a little more because I need to support my family, and I hope that that money will be enough for me to take care of my family.
Okay. So what about, let me look at your other opportunity that could be something else you could look into. I feel like it would be a totally different line of work.
Okay.
And I feel like you would just have to go in as some kind of like a manager or something like that at this new thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would almost, it almost looks like I know this is like really random, but like it's like you go work for a manager of the YMCA. I don't
really
like something very different. I don't know if it's literally the YMCA, but I feel like whatever it is, it's more upbeat, it's more relaxed, it's more it's kind of even more fun.
Like that. Oh, that's good. That's what I want because that's kind of my personality. I like something that's more upbeat, more positive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Look at jobs for the YMCA and see what you find. Or something like it, recreation center, or something like that. I feel like you greeting people and you're like happy to tour them around or show them around and explain programs and stuff like that. So, yay!
Okay. That's really cool. I also want to ask. I believe I have a twin flame, and I just wanted to ask, like, what advice does the spirit guide has for me, and like, and the connection, and is there something that's fated and destined to be?
I get the yes. I get a yes on the fated and destined, but do you mean, we need to be specific here, though, because like, what exactly is fated and destined? Like, will you guys ever be in a relationship, in a romantic relationship?
Yeah.
I actually get a yes, but I feel like it's going to be a while from now.
Okay. When you say like a while?
I feel like it could even be years.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and the reason being, let me feel into him for a minute. One of the reasons being is they want you to feel strong and independent by yourself, like you've done it on your own, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He also needs to go through something similar. I feel like he feels really disempowered in a lot of areas of his life. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he has kind of almost like a victim mentality. So until he changes that, he's not going to be a very good spouse anyway. Or, I mean, you know what I mean. Partner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he's also has to heal some issues with his, like, feels like he has resentment with his father or his mother, I guess. He's fighting her, and it's like if you were to get in a relationship with him now, he would be fighting against you. He'd be treating you like his mom, and it would be kind of ugly, and you guys would end up separating anyway. So it's good that you guys stay apart and kind of live separate lives for now, and then come back at some point in the future, because when you come together in the future, it feels like he's going to, you'll know when it's time because he'll have gotten this new job. He'll feel liberated. He'll feel excited, like he's got like a new lease on life. There'll be a lot of newness for him. He's going to feel like a free man, like out of prison almost. And it's like his personal growth will have caught up to him, like snuck up on him. And he'll seem like a really new person to you, like not even the person he used to know.
Wow.
He's going to be very proud of himself, and I'm seeing him go from like a wife beater t-shirt to like a suit and tie and all suave, like his hair all polished and.
Wow, yeah, because he's very simple, and the position that he had in his job, I would assume he would wear like more suits and tie, but he doesn't. He's more casual. In the way that he dresses not as professional as he should be, I think.
Well, in a lot of ways, he's kind of being a slacker a little bit right now too. So I don't know. He's just got a lot of, huh?
Oh, I didn't hear really well.
Oh yeah, he's being a little bit of a slacker too. Right now.
Okay.
Just in general, he's being kind of a little bit lazy, a little bit. I would say he goes from lazy to reactive. To lazy, or you could say lazy to defensive a lot.
Okay, that makes sense. And
you don't want that. Not right now,
no,
anyway.
Not right now. Oh, I forgot the question that I wanted to ask. Okay, lazy to. I also want to. Do I have any spiritual gifts that? Sometimes I feel like I tend to know things, or like I could just see a person and know them. Not always, but like I could kind of pretty much tell if they're this kind of person or not. I wonder if I have any spiritual gifts and how can I strengthen them and be able to speak to my guides.
Okay. Yes, you have plenty of them, and they have been working well for you. But the key to having these gifts and actually using them is to be sensitive enough and self-aware enough and quiet enough in your mind that you're paying attention. That's the only difference between like the typical person and me, I think, is that I really am listening actively. So it's just a matter of being really present and paying attention is all. So, and you do sometimes, and other times you don't. And those probably the times you're not picking up on things. I would guess it's just because you're not paying attention. If you try to pay attention all the time, I bet you get a lot more.
Well, sometimes I feel these tingling sensations, like as if somebody's touching my head or kissing me on my cheek.
Okay.
Why do I feel that sometimes? It's literally like almost as if you can't see the person, but like they're kissing you on your cheek, or like they're touching your head or something like that.
Yeah, usually they are. I have found that if it's on top of your head or if you have tingling through your temples, usually it's a download. So it's like the universe is like trying to download a bunch of information to you about. It's usually for me. I usually get it before I have an interaction with somebody. So if I'm in one reading and I'm getting a bunch of downloads and I can feel all this energy, I don't. It's not necessarily for the person that I'm with in that moment. It's the next one or the one after that. It's like preparation, and then it starts to unfold out of me. It's really weird. It's like you get this big mass of it. It's almost like they download everything for all the readings of the day, in one download, and I can feel it all coming in, and then it just starts to trickle out of my mouth throughout the day. But some of the tingles, like you said, are somebody actually touching you. So do you get ringing in the ears?
Yes, I started to get them more in the recent months. Sometimes, I feel I get that.
Okay, so here's the thing that people don't realize about the other side too, is you are in complete control. You set all of the rules. Somebody came into me the other day and they said, I get all this information given to me at once and it's overwhelming, and I'm like, and I go smoke a cigarette and I'm like, whoa, don't do that. Like you set the rules here. You let them know. I want one of you to talk at a time, or I want just so much information that I can digest in that moment to be able to communicate that with someone. So you set the rules with them and you tell them how it is. I've been in a reading and I've felt like 10 voices talking at the same time and all kind of trying to talk over each other. And I'm like, I need one representative that's going to be the voice for all of you. And it's going to come up with the common theme or the common idea that needs to be conveyed to me to say to this person. And so there was a period of that kind of thing happening and us working together as to how they could communicate to me to communicate to the other person. So you can do that. And so the right ear for me is like something earthly. It could be, I mean, it could be elementals like fairies, leprechauns, things like that, or it could be like a deceased person. It could be, you know, a spirit guide, somebody who's actually walked on the planet or walked on the spirit realm or is attached to the earth, you know.
Yeah.
And then on the left side, those are like angelic beings that are like way, way out there, or extraterrestrials that are high vibration. So depending on but you can set the rules. Again, you can say that the left ear is for this and the right ear is for that, and they'll come accordingly. If you want them to kind of knock, let them know how you want that to come across or how you want that to be. Like, like for me,
if I let them know? Oh yeah, sorry.
Just talk to them. Talk to them like we're talking. You know, like sometimes when I'm doing these readings,
in my mind, like in my mind, in my head. Okay.
Totally, yes. They're so connected with you would not believe. They're like reading your mind. They know everything. There's not a thing you're going to get past them. They already know you inside and out. So you just think it, you know, I talk out loud a lot. Like, so I'll walk around and I'll be like, whoa, I can't hear that right now. Just give me, like, what you guys have to wait till I'm sitting down in front of the computer. Like, they'll try to tell me something that I'm about to do a talk on. And this literally happened one time. I was on my way driving to work, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we got to say blah, 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 blah." And I felt really inspired to like get this video out, but I wasn't in front of the computer. I had to drive to work. So what I did was I took a recorder and I started recording it all. Everything that they were telling me was coming out of my mouth, and it was blah blah blah. It was this really incredible talk and everything. And then by the time I got to work, all the ideas had left my head. And I didn't have the computer. And by the time I actually got to a computer and could sit in front of it, the notes were really choppy in the recorder, and it didn't sound right. And then I would have had to put like some kind of a picture up, and then just have my recording over it. It was kind of ruined. So I told them next time you guys, next time you guys, please just wait until I'm in front of the video. You know, then I can do it. So that's how it works, though. You work with them like that. So yeah, sometimes I have to stop them, or sometimes I'm in the middle of a reading and I get interrupted by a ringing. And if they interrupt me in the middle of a ringing, they want to say something. So don't ignore that either. Or if you get like a quick little flash of calling somebody, or like a quick little flash of you wearing a coat, or a quick little flash of like somebody picking up a phone or something like that, pay attention to those quick little flashes. So many times we just ignore those things, and we think that it's us. We think that it's us, and it's like then you kind of talk yourself out of it. Oh, I don't need a coat today, or I don't need to call that person. I'll call them later. But it's like Spirit's trying to tell you, because a couple hours later something will happen, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, why didn't I pay attention? I remember seeing that flash real quick. But you'll get the hang of it. And there's, I have a video here on YouTube, and it is called Divine Guidance Council. And you could hold a Divine Guidance Council meeting as often as you'd like. You could do it once a week, once a day, and that's what's going to help you learn who all of your guides are, and learn to listen to all the messages that they can that will come through. And it'll help you tune into these guides as well, and kind of get the feel of what it feels like for them to bring these little messages through.
Thank you. Did they have any, when they usually touch my hair, I feel that like someone is touching my hair or something like that. What are they trying to tell me? Like,
well, they're trying to get your attention. And in that moment, like if I were you, if I had that happen, I would either be like, oh, how sweet, somebody's being sweet. Or if I had the time, I would stop and say, who is this? So you just ask. Okay. And if they, like, here's the cool thing about the ringing in the ears. It'll start ringing, and then you'll be like, is this Bob? Is this Joe? Is this Frank? Is this, you know? And you can, like, guess until, like, the ringing won't go away until you guess the right one. Okay. But when you get better at it, but when you get better at it, you'll start to identify the tone of the ringing, because you'll notice the rings are always different. Yeah. Start paying attention. There's deeper ones, there's high ones, there's, you know. So, but you'll get better. You'll get better as you go. I also did a talk with the happiness coach You could listen to that. It was on one of our Naked Truth videos.
Yeah.
And it was, if you just put in Intuition, Naked Truth, Amy Satori, it'll pop up and you'll see us talking about what it was like for us to develop our intuition. So I got to get to the other callers.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much.
Have a great night.
Yep. You too.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Amy?
Hello? Yes.
Hello?
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 Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What's up?
Hello?
Can you not hear me now? What's going on?
Hello?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, good.
I can hear you. I
Okay.
can hear you totally, completely every second.
So I'm calling in. I'm wanting to know about my twin flame without all the story. We met about a year ago, and he found me on Messenger, actually Facebook, and normally I would never, accept just people that I don't know, and I decided to accept him because he was friends with my cousin. Anyway, so that went on for 3 months back and forth. Really was never available for, the weekends or to hang out. We had coffee once and then went to dinner. And finally I just lost my cool. And because he was always so full of excuses and said he was working all the time. So I kind of just let that go. And I finally said to him, you're never available. I feel like you're trying to fit me in instead of make time. And then I actually recontacted him 3-4 months later. I went to a spiritual awakening course with Oneness. And I had this huge, unlayering, right? Because that's what this journey is all about, unlayering deeper into ourselves. And decided to reach out to him and just apologize for my abruptness and that I judged him and I didn't really know his life story and I was sorry and I had my own childhood, blah, blah, blah. And we started talking again. And anyway, fast forward the whole year, we were talking, but he was never available. And it was every time I asked, so I became obsessed. He was never available on the weekends. He was never available to do dinner, even a coffee, but he would stop at my house once a week. It's very weird. And I decided I'm going to run a check on him, because my intuition was something's not right. And I couldn't find anything. I found where he lives, where he said he lives in Jersey, and he had all this other stuff going on, and blah, blah, blah. And the locations he said he lived, California, Texas, moved back, from Canada, okay, everything. Try to run a marriage license, not married. This is weird. And we continued, and I was okay, divine, I prayed. I'm very spiritual. I meditate every day. And I just kept hearing, stay on your path, stay on your path. And a lot of times, Amy, and you've talked about this, a lot of your shows, on your YouTube, it's we see a lot in the 5D and up, right, in the cosmic layers, but it's not physically manifested yet. Does that make sense? I know I'm not going crazy. Okay. And anyway, long story short, this has continued. And finally,
Hey, Joanne.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain for those listening? Some people may not know what that means to talk to someone in the 5D. Can you share with everyone how you do that?
Sure. So a lot of times, and you just said to the other caller prior to this, to meditate and ask questions. So I'll go into a meditation, and I'll actually call my Council of Light forward, and I also ask for my guides, my guardians, and my higher self. And I will ask, his name is Frank. God grace me if he's listening. But
I'll bleep out his last name.
Yeah, right. I would sit in the meditation. I would ask for also his higher self to come in, and I would just sit and ask for us to be held with light and in a sacred chamber. And
Okay.
I would talk. I would actually just talk to him and share what I'm feeling. And sometimes he will talk, and sometimes I'll have images. So it just depends. Like there's been times where they downloaded healing for both of us, heart chakra, or I saw union, or I saw like a wedding ring, or I saw him apologizing or sharing what his life has been like. But I'm not in this dimension. Like I'm in a whole nother. It doesn't feel real, but it is. My point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
As the
Mm-hmm.
process is occurring, I've seen angels, I've seen ancestors come. They've told me there's lineage because, and that's the thing. I'm sharing with you. Yes, we're twin flames, but I don't even know now because I feel like I've been running to him this whole time. I'm chasing, he's running. And when I've questioned him, he's like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's happening. I have so much fear. I have a lot of flaws. I don't know why I keep running. Maybe it's the issues when I was a kid I never addressed.
Wow.
And there's a lot of self-loathing, a lot of awareness of what's happening with him. Like he'll say, I'm a coward. And I said, no, you're just not ready yet. There's a lot of self-loathing.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we're in November.
And can I hold on?
Yeah.
Hold on. Just want to interrupt with this. That if you guys want to know, also I expand on this topic of why the divine masculine's ghost. I have a video you can look up, and it says, "Does he really love me? Because he's ghosting me." Watch that video. It's like a half an hour or so, and it explains everything that she just said and more about why they do that. So, and she is absolutely right. It's what they have to go through to develop and grow past the victimhood. You know, we all had to do it at some point. They're just a little bit behind the feminines, not saying females either, but the feminine energy. So go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, thank you. And it's a great video. Everybody on this call, it's amazing. I watched it.
Thanks.
And so the end of August, I'm telling you, this is divine orchestration. He came here. We hung out, and out of nowhere, I just said to him, what is going on? I'm like, I'm falling in love with you. You're never available. You're always working. I'm like, we don't even go like for a coffee. He's like, well, I can't meet your needs. And I said, well, what is that? And he was like, well, I can't give you commitment, I can't give you devotion, and I can't give you time. And I looked at him and said, okay, well then I'm not doing this. That's it. It was finished. Like he wasn't too happy with this, of course. But it was like, what am I doing? And when I tell you I'm grieving like somebody, I'm looking for some guidance. Like, am I making this up? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? Do I just let go? Like I hear him yesterday all day in my house. Like I feel like he was here with me. I feel presence. Like I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, and I think so many people are going to resonate with what you're saying because we've all gone through it or are going through it. Yeah. It is really trippy to be the feminine in this situation. In terms of what you can do about it, I don't know. I just got pointed to my last collective video about how a man shows up and pushes your DM out of the way. So you might just have somebody, and I have this theory that, it's like, and these are like, this is where the soul flame thing comes from. It's almost like that twin flame energy can go into the next person who is willing to love you and naturally is drawn to love you, and someone who's more ready for commitment, more mature, more developed kind of thing. It's kind of like there's an inheritance, and there's a list of people in line to take that inheritance. If the first one passes on it, then the next one comes, and then the next one. And it's really weird because with soul flames also, it's like they still do a little bit of the song and dance, which can be so frustrating. But you've got soulmates that can come through if you've been doing all the work on yourself like you're doing right now. You're calling through most likely some soul flames and some soulmates, but also some karmics will be mixed in. So you got to be really careful who you're going to go for. I do feel like some doors are going to open for you. I feel like 3 guys are coming through, and they're all healthy. They're all better in a way than he is. And he would have been the best if he would have like stepped up into, being the knight. But he kind of stayed. It's like the queen called out throughout the crowd, who would like to be my knight, and he wanted to really bad, and his heart beat really fast, but he never raised his hand, So someone else was called. And so you're not going to be out of that love that you want, and it's going to be just as strong as what you had with him. If it's a soulmate, I don't know, that kind of varies. But you definitely have some other options coming through. And the only thing is that, your twin flame could valiantly show up one day. You could be with this other guy who comes along, who's more ready and all of this stuff. Your twin flame could come. So you have to be developed and mature enough within yourself also to choose the right person, to go with the one who does show up when you need him, when you're ready, and be able to, set your boundaries with that twin flame when he comes back at his leisure.
Yeah.
So he's got to lie in the bed that he's made. This is part of the karma that happens sometimes too, is they have to go through that feeling of, I was called and I didn't go. And they got to go through that for whatever reason. Like, I don't know, maybe in a past life, somebody did, I don't know. It's weird how everything gets reversed so that everybody eventually like gets to play a different role, so that they understand and have compassion for everyone involved in the whole play,
True. So is Spirit saying just for me to let go of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you've done all the healing that you could around it. You've completed everything that you could look at about yourself. You've looked at your own shadow side. And it's just like, now it's time to, let me ask them about something real quick. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
I mean, you can still talk to him in the 5D and just have another chat with him and just let him know, I'm moving on. I love you. I'll always love you, but I'm moving on because I want to be happy. I want to have a good time in my life, and that involves being in a relationship where I'm romantic with someone and they do devote time and energy to me. So I'm moving on. But like I have that arrangement with my twin flame right now. Like I don't ever expect to be with him in a romantic way. It's always going to be there. I'm always going to care for him, and if he shows up, I'll be there for him as best I can, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just a good friend of the past. So sometimes that's what we have, and it's all about the emotional development. It's not about like winning the prize, necessarily. Some do get to come together. I mean, somebody asked me the other day, like, do twin flames ever really get to come together, or is it just a big myth, And when you're really emotionally intelligent, instead of getting defensive, you actually step back and take a look at it. And I did. And I just said, you know what, let's ponder this for a moment. And I meditated on it, and I was like, yeah, quite a few twin flames do come together. Not all of them. There are some people who are mistaken and tell everybody that twin flames are absolutely meant to be, and they have to be together. And that's what I used to believe when I first started this. But honestly, I mean, even in this moment, I'm feeling like 30 to 40% will actually have a romantic relationship in this life, because you really do have to overcome your ego. You really have you've got to overcome the test to make that happen. And if you don't, then you just, you fail. Not everybody graduates from school.
No, exactly. And given my journey has been a merging of and a balance of my masculine feminine within me. You did a great call with, I think it's Trident, one of the guys that, I forget. I think
King Trident Tribe?
Yeah. And it was really great because, you know, he spoke about it wasn't necessarily coming together, but it was that evolution within the self that you find that balance, you know, clearing the karma, clearing, you know, all sexual lineage lines, like even the woman, like saving herself for not necessarily the twin, but being with somebody that everything is sacred about the union. But until we find that within, you can't find that outside of yourself, you know? So definitely, no, this feels really good. It just clarifies a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, and I actually did a talk with Matt and asked him a bunch of questions on the divine feminine's part, like whatever we would want to ask the masculines. And he answered those, but I'll ask him if he wants to do a talk on this too. I'm sure he'd be happy to.
That would be amazing because you know, again, like the 5D and the 3D, and we all us women want to anchor, right, all that like deliciousness into the 3D. But yes, if it's aligned for our highest good, because we are worthy of the very highest of everything. And if that twin, you're right, maybe it was to clear karma, maybe it was from other lives, but there's somebody even better, you know, than that one. Just like needs to I honestly, like, every time that I've let go of one of my masculines, because I've had, I think, 2 in the last, let's see, I don't know. And some of them, you know, it's like you really have to be discerning. You know, some come and it's like, yeah, I know we've been true love before, but, and so it's like you go through these, but every single time that one has completely, like it's like, no, it's not likely to happen for a really long time if it ever does, you know. Every time I've given up, every time I've just let go and just surrendered, an even better one comes through every time. It blows my mind. Yeah.
And I thought that, you know, with my twin flame, I thought he was going to be the most intense connection I've ever had. You know, I thought I was like, you know, fixated on it at first, just like we all get. And I was just like, I had feelings for him and all of this. And I just thought he was like the thing. I thought he was really like, wow. And, you know, and then the next one, I was, you know, had all these really strong feelings for, and I was right. I didn't know that I could do that. I didn't know that I could love this next one as much. I didn't know that I could, you know, so it like keeps growing us in our ability to love as well. And you do keep getting better and better people. It's like, it's really, really crazy. So the more rejection, the better, you guys. Because, you know.
We don't need to hear that.
Oh, you guys wouldn't even believe. You wouldn't even believe what an incredible man that I've got lined up right now. The one that I feel could be him, and it's incredible.
Inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're going up. The higher your vibration, just keep climbing up and up and up, and you're just going to get better and better and better. And somebody better and better suited.
Go and surrender more into it. Yeah.
Yep. I know so many feminine, so many feminines are like, well, I'm getting older, and he's the only one I've ever felt that connection with, and I can't even date anybody else, and he's the only one. And I'm just like, you wait till you let go. I feel like I was smart enough to let go. I don't cling, I don't chase. I just say, are you in it with me or not? And if not, I'm out of here. So that's how I've always handled it. And like I said, better. So follow my lead, you guys.
Right? Queen allows.
Yeah.
She leans back. Yeah. She doesn't chase ever. Yeah.
Yay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello? I can hear you.
This is Catherine.
I can hear you. Hey, Catherine.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. I'm good. This is the first time I've called in. I'm actually calling from Ohio, and I found you on YouTube. And I think you're absolutely amazing. I'm a little nervous.
Thank you.
I just really love your energy, and your videos are really resonating with what's going on in my life right now. So even something you posted within the last day or so, you were talking about, and this is just kind of going into my question, how the universe just things, you just feel it in your entire being when your intuition is telling you to do something, and that's pretty much been the theme of my life for the last month or two, and I kept ignoring it, and then I knew they wanted me to end things with my partner, and I went to they call it a magic meetup for like-minded people to meet and do different things with their gifts, and it was really empowering, and I really feel like they orchestrated that to help me, kind of give me that extra push, because they did not want this relationship to last beyond the month of October. So 10 is a pretty significant number for me. And I got up the next day, and it was just, I couldn't do it anymore. I can't explain it, and that's been really, it's been a rough week. I was with this person for 2.5 years. I kind of been it's pretty much going cold turkey, other than, how are you, good morning, have a good day, but we have not physically spoke or seen each other, anything. It's just been like a quick check-in after the breakup, and then other than that, it's like he's never existed. And so that's really challenging. Yeah. And I just wanted to ask, because I watch a lot of people, and when this first started happening to me, it was 3 years ago, and there is this guy involved, and I've heard this person, yes, it could be a twin flame, it could be a heart awakening, a catalyst situation. And as soon as I kissed this guy, and we met online, there's a lot of synchronicities with some of the numbers we share and names and things like that. And I drove the 2 hours to meet him, something I'd been prior to him celibate for almost 4 years. We didn't sleep together. I was pretty much celibate for almost 4 years until the awakening happened with this guy. The kiss happened, the explosion throughout my entire body, telepathy, psychic gifts, all of those things, dark night of the soul, all of that happened to me. And that was almost 4 years ago. I've never physically seen this guy since, but I still feel, and I've tried to do different things, cut cords, all of that, and I've completely, kept moving forward and doing my work, just kind of what the other caller described. I'm starting to do intuitive work. I quit 3 jobs that weren't serving me. I'm trying to go into the utilizing my gifts as my main source of income. All of those things have been happening on my end, but I've never physically had an interaction with this person again. But yet, as I've started to let his replacement come forward, it's almost just what you just talked about. This relationship hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was just madly in love. We went through all of that, but kind of what she was saying, he never, said I love you, but he was always, making time for me. There's a 14-year age gap between us. He's from a different country. So that was the biggest obstacle with that relationship, was that he was never willing to come out about our relationship. And it really kind of was heartbreaking in a way, over time, because we'd go to all these places. We went to Jamaica. I'd never been on a vacation, and I'm 41 years old. He's 28. And I got to share that amazing experience with this wonderful man, and I love him to the end of the world. But on Tuesday, when I broke it off with him, I said, it's just, I can't do it anymore. Like, you just get to that point and you're heartbroken. but you know deep down that that person just is not. And he thought I should write this down. I just said, you're an amazing person. I love you always. We've both grown. He's catapulted into his investments. I've helped him apply to grad school. We fit together like it's amazing. But what do you do when you can't force, and I don't chase, and I've been, married for 14 years, and then I was single again for 4, and then he walks into my life, and I feel we've grown spiritually in all ways because of each other. But I said, you're just not open to receiving what I'm willing to give. And that doesn't make you a bad person, but there has to be someone out there. I've worked so freaking hard on myself. I've done all of this inner work. My whole life has changed. I know there is someone out there for me. And I love you so much, but you just get worn out. And so it was really hard. And this other person, I see his name all the time, the kind of truck he drives and all of that, but I kind of went through that point where no matter what inner work I did, again, I didn't chase after. I'd text him once in a while. There was always a weird off energy there. We've only spoke on the phone maybe 2 or 3 times during that very short whatever that was, but it still like lingers. So I don't know. Any insight you have on these 2 gentlemen?
That's the guy from 4 years ago that you've texted a few times?
Yeah, but it's been over a year.
Stayed in contact a little bit.
Yeah, we have not texted or reached out in over a year, maybe 2 years. But lately, the universe, I travel for what I call my practical job, and they're blatantly showing me billboards with his name spelled out right in front of me at intersections. Music being downloaded to my phone that I did not put there. I started my car, and the theme of this movie that was a big topic when back 3 years ago started playing, and I'm like on my Spotify. I'm like, are you guys? What do you? And of course, I'm watching your readings and all of that, and it's like. Today I've been at the space where I've been very in my vortex. I'm really trying to stay open and I'm not sitting in a ball of mud, bawling my eyes out over this guy, my boyfriend, even though I want to at times, but I really feel I'm so much at a better space that I feel more open. Like I'm like, bring it. Who is this person? If it's not... Yeah, and if it's not either of them, I mean, it is what it is. But this other person, like I said, Middle Eastern man, 28 years old, I'm 41, I've got 3 kids. I'm everything, his culture, his sister is married. It's not arranged per se. They're Christian, not Muslim. However, for whatever reason, he was not able to say at any point in almost 3 years, this is who I'm with, Mom. And I'm like, and that really really tugs at your self-worth too, because there's a major wound in my life, in abandonment. Pretty much, I was always chasing after love. And then I told him on the phone on Tuesday, I said, you know what? I told you the day I met you in tears that God brought you into my life for a very special purpose. No one could get through to me for 4 years. He kept me alone and just focusing on me. And then here you are after I did all of this work and got myself right. And you are here for such a special purpose. And then on Tuesday, I said, remember what I said 2.5 years ago? I said, your purpose is done. I'm not going to keep trying to get someone to feel or say or do something that I've been chasing after since a child. I don't need it from you anymore. And your mission is complete. And I know that. It hurts because he's like my bestest friend, everything. And it's just hard to go cold turkey. But I do know that both these men, I have past soul contracts. I've had some of those things done. And I know there's connections with both of them. I just am like, is it time, like you just told her, that as we evolve and grow, those people that don't catch up with us, they fall away? I feel like that's my life right now. This person that I was so with is just gone. It's like he never existed. It's really,
Well, with all of these like eclipses and with the energies, let's just say generally speaking, with the energies in 2019 and 2020, especially 2019, it's been all about dropping all facades and getting real, and really aligning with who and what we truly are and who really resonates with us.
Yeah.
So no matter what kind of label you want to put on the one that you were with, it doesn't matter, because it wasn't fulfilling for you and you did what was best for you, and that's what's most important. It doesn't mean that you guys, and you guys could be together later. Like 2 to 5 years from now, he could come back and say, I'm ready to proclaim my love for you to my family and everybody, and I don't care what anyone thinks anymore. But right now, he's not in that position. He's not there. And it's really, it's wise and it's very loving of you to acknowledge that it's just not what it is naturally right now. So you're going to go,
Yeah.
So
and I was really picking up on that, even though he didn't want to tell me. I felt like I was holding the Ten of Wands on my back. I felt like it was a chore. And when it's starting to become a chore, because we live an hour apart, he works, him and I used to work at the same place. I quit, but his work is 5 minutes from my house. So seeing each other wasn't the issue. It was more to the degree that I wanted to, like, I want you to be here. I want you to be and and that's what I mean. It just, the anxiety, am I going to see you this week? Am I not? If his parents are back from the country, he had to lie. It just wasn't, even though he said it didn't bother him, it was. And I just said, I had to do it for the both of us. So,
And I think that cold turkey is the best way to go. It honestly is. It's so much more painful to go slowly. It's like,
I was doing that, and the universe kept bringing it back. They kept showing me opportunities, and I literally couldn't take it anymore, because last week I was trying to pull back, and he was all over it. Oh, you look what, and it was just like their way of saying, is this really what you want? You really want to have this? And then you go back to the same thing. You fall back into the same pattern. And we said that. The wheel was kept going. It was like the hamster wheel. We're together and then apart. And then they're like, seriously, are you done? And the last time we were together was a week ago today. And now here I am, and I've a cold turkey, nothing. And it's like, whew. So I just am hoping there's more on the horizon for me.
Or when you do the cold turkey thing, what's great about that is both of you just stop and start taking care of yourself. It just clicks in, because you don't have each other to lean on anymore, and nor is anybody fooling themselves or each other. Nobody's saying, "Oh, let's just give this one last chance," or "Let's just tell me one more time what you mean by that, and I'll try to supply that for you." And it's all of that. Yep.
I did that.
I know the hell and back and forth. That back and forth can go on for years. It can go on for a very, very long time. Bargaining.
Yeah.
So I do think it's best when you just know. It's like every single time I ask. I mean, I don't even ask anymore. I'll be in a reading and I'll be like, this isn't the one, and they always go, I knew you knew.
Yeah.
We always know.
Yeah.
It's too hard. But it's great, the lessons we get from it, and that's what we get out of it. That's the golden nuggets we take from it. Is the awesome, the awesome lessons that make us a better lover and a better partner for our next person. But it's not even about that. It's even about like raising our vibration to love unconditionally everyone on the planet, and it's part of our ascension process. So, in terms of the one from 4 years ago, It's the typical like soul flame type situation, like he's definitely thinking about you a lot. He really does want to come forward and have something with you. I feel like he might even something's going to happen even in the next month or so. I feel like he might want to visit you or something. Did you tell him that you went through a breakup?
No, I've not spoke, text, nothing with this person since we've never spoken verbally on the phone for 2 years. And then I was just ironically looking through my text messages. That was from 2017. So I have heard there's nothing, zero. But again, and I've asked many people about this, it's like his name and songs and just kind of that tingly, like somebody's, I was with my boyfriend and cooking on his birthday one night. He was upstairs and I'm cooking and I knew it was his birthday, but that this past year I never texted happy birthday, but I just got really sad and started crying and I'm cooking and I'm like, this stuff comes out of nowhere. It's like he's there and he came through in a reading. My friend is practicing her mediumship skills. And he came through in that. I said, but he's not dead, not that I know of. But I told him during that, I said, either show up or leave me alone. I can't take this. Because this was when I made my list of my ideal man, and then I randomly meet him on the internet 2 hours later, and then the explosion of bliss all over my body and all this stuff starts. I'm like, what the hell? And that's
Kundalini. That's a Kundalini awakening.
And then never to see him again. But it's like
sometimes it's just an energetic exchange that needs to happen too. And although I do feel like he plans to pursue you, I wouldn't hold out for that, And honestly, honest to God, that I get inundated pretty much every single day by my twin flame. And I really don't have anything with him at all. And nor do I feel like I'm going to be with him. But so you may get those signs and synchronicities because they're reaching out to you. They need help from you. They want you to offer, blessings to them, or maybe you have that energetic exchange also, like with the actual twin flame. You'll get to where you're feeling you can actually feel even somebody pulling on your energy. You'll feel their feelings too. So, that may not have been you that felt all sad and everything. It was like him. And so, it's crazy how all that works. And, then you'll have dreams about people too. And it's just like your subconscious mind's way of seeing if you guys would be a good fit and all that kind of stuff. But I would take all of that pretty much with a grain of salt, except that if and when they show up in the physical, you can then take all of that's been happening as confirmation. Like you can look back and say, dang, man, you've haunted me every day for a while now. And that can be the thing. But until they show up in the physical, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And I could text him. I could try to face. I'm just not going to do it, and I won't. And I am just like, I'm not going. I feel like if it's meant to happen, that he needs to show up, because that's where I've pretty much failed in most of all my past relationships. I've always been to chase somebody, or it's been I got married to my ex-husband because we got pregnant. It wasn't love, and I'm not doing that again. My boyfriend I just broke up with, that was the same sparks, and he pursued me. And so I used to say a joke with him. I said, you're just here to practice with me, right? Like, because I even told him about that guy. I said, this other guy, you're just here. We're going to practice through some stuff. And then for most of our relationship, I thought he was just going to magically come back. He texted me one time. We had a 10-minute conversation, and that was in 2017, and it lasted 5 minutes, and then he ghosts and never texted me again. So I don't know if he's married or there's something going on. I always felt like there was something a little shady. And I seem to attract Middle Eastern men because I have a past life in that era, and I did attract and had a dream about a doctor that where I work. We went out. He ended up being a complete ass, and basically, yeah, I kind of, it sucks because I really was attracted to him, and I was like, damn, boyfriend's 27 at the time. This doctor's 28. They're both from the Middle East. They both drive the same kind of car. Am I being punked right now? Like, does the universe, God, what is going on? And then he was jealous because he knew. He told me, go out with the guy. Because our relationship was very open. He's like, I don't want you to pass up the love of your life. If this guy is the guy. So my boyfriend was a little jealous, though, because they're, again, both Middle Eastern. He's a doctor, and anyway, and I went on that date, and it ended badly, and I've never spoke to him again, except in a professional, we'd have to walk by each other. So it's just like, I guess my question, like, I just feel with those three men, the exchange of energy that happened in that moment, and is that, I mean, like you told her, I'm not going to just settle for just because. I'm done. Like, I'm freaking 41 now. I'm ready to get moving. Like, I just don't, I'm not one to really go out there. God had to be very creative to even get me to meet these people because I don't go out very much. And the 3 places I went, took 2 off the list, the gym and work.
Wow.
Well, I met my ex-boyfriend in the gym at work. So it's like, okay, but now I'm just kind of like, now what? Because you can't go back to the old way. Yeah.
Well, and I also feel like chasing's not good. It doesn't feel good for anybody.
No.
Especially if the other person's running away. If you're chasing and the other person's like, all right, yeah, let's go out. That's a different thing. But honestly, I do feel like if you have feelings for someone, it's very important that you say that and you be as direct as possible, because there are so many misunderstandings out there. There are so many people who are shy. There are so many people who feel like you deserve better than them, and what are you doing coming after them? And so I think it's really important that if somebody doesn't know how you feel about them, that you let them know. I just think that that's super important. If they don't do anything about it, then at least you've done your part. You know what I mean? Right. You've poured out your heart to this person, and they now have the responsibility. They have it on their shoulders to do something about it. Yeah. So that feels better. That allows you to sleep at night. So if there is somebody that you have feelings for, absolutely let them know as soon as possible, and then just leave it for them to do something back.
And I did that Tuesday. I probably said I love you to him within 10 times in that conversation, and I said, and I'm setting you free. So I said it's the best, and he was pretty tore up, and he's cried and other, but again, so that he knows I'm done. Like, I'm done. I told you I loved you the whole time we were together. I'm done. I'm not going to chase and try to get something out of you. So that's done.
Be hidden.
And
Okay. So all you can really do is lick your wounds. And I would do the exercise, thank you, God, for my misery. Take out a piece of paper, write down, thank you, God, that he would never, come out of the closet about me. Thank you, God, that he ignored this. Thank you, God, that he stressed me out about that. Thank you, God. Like, just sit down for a period of time and, like, hash through all of that. And I feel like I just had a feeling that when you do that exercise on everything that you can think of that where he kind of wronged you in that relationship, I feel like fairly shortly soon after you're going to have something happen for you in regards to love. I don't know if it's going to be that one from 4 years ago, but I do feel like something's going to break through sometime before the end of the year. So just do your healing, stick to your healing, step in your power. I don't know if it was you or the caller before who was just like, I'm not slinking around in the mud. Just take care of yourself and be your own best friend, basically, and just try to have as much fun as possible this holiday season. It's so tough on the feminines going through the holidays without their masculines. It just rips their hearts out, and they drink a lot and they eat a lot, and they try to do the self-healing, but they get resentful of life. Like, why isn't this man coming forward and all of this? It's horrible. So just anticipate it's going to be hell, and and prepare to make things really fun for yourself. Do not just go on autopilot and come home every night like you normally would. Assume that you're going to get in a depression if something doesn't happen. Set yourself up and be like, okay, every Friday night I'm going to go to this. I'm going to look up activities in my town that are just really fun places I can go meet people, maybe even go on some dates and like go have fun. Like come up with different things that you can do. I can watch Christmas movies on a regular basis. I can, watch Netflix Christmas movies to cheer me up or whatever, but have some kind of a plan so you don't just default to going for alcohol or going for, something else. In that way. Just make up a plan.
Yeah, because last night I watched City of Angels, and that's a twin flame movie if you ever saw one, and I cried, of course, but I was okay, but I did watch it. But you're right, because with this person in the whole time we've been together, we've never spent a holiday together, like no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, and it's like, that's fine, but after a while, it's like you want that person that wants to show off. If I'm all these amazing things that you tell me behind closed doors, it's like, but why don't you want to show me off then? I mean, it does a number on you. I genuinely know he has deep feelings for me. I don't question that, but again, just the fear there or whatever it is, and it's just like, I don't want another holiday like that where I have a partner but they're not with me or trying to explain that all the time. It's like the energy, I'd rather just say, you know what, I'm single, here I am, and just go to family things without a guy, which still, it's like but it's like, I know it's got to happen, something's got to give. I've gone so far with this stuff, like. So, well, and you gotta at the very heart of it all, it always comes back to the law of attraction. Yeah. When you're working on yourself and you're a high vibration and you're living as if, you could even try living as if you are already coupled with someone and you feel like $1 million with that person. And I wanted to try to this. I said, I was sorry. I was like, I wanted to see if I got picked to talk to you because I went and picked up my grocery order, and this man had been helping me on the phone about stuff I wanted still to be added. Well, I go to pick up my groceries, and this is an older man. He wasn't hitting on me. I must have been vibing today because he brings me a bouquet of purple flowers to my car, and he says, these are free. And I said, sir, I said, what a gentleman you are. I said, I haven't gotten flowers from a man. I can't tell you when. And he goes, whoa, what's wrong with those men? And he's just like, it was just like, that made my day. Like purple flowers. Here's what's so funny is like, I know so many divine feminines are some of the most extraordinary people in the world, and they're single. And then if you ever hear a masculine like complaining, all the good ones are taken. It's like, that's so not true. All the karmics are taken. The good ones are single. That's how I feel. Yeah, because people look at me. Yeah, the masculine. They're like, how is she to go after that kind of stuff? And that's what I get. It's like, how am I? And then it drains. It does kind of affect you, but I'm kind of beyond that. But I'm like, I'm educated. I'm a medical person. I won't get into all my degree stuff, but I'm like, I lost 5 pounds this week because I'm trying to do me and do, and it's like, but I can't. And this guy looked at me like I had 3 heads. Like, what the? Nobody's gotten you flowers? Like, I know. No, I didn't cry, but I was just like, thank you. You just made my freaking day. Like, it was just nice.
All in due
so,
time.
yeah.
All in due time. Just keep being your best friend.
Okay, well.
Somebody asked me the other day. Someone asked me the other day about, like, my friends. Do you have a lot of people who are there for you? Do you have friends? And I just said, you know what, honestly, I said, I think I'm my best friend. I'm the one who's really there for me when it really comes to it. Like, no matter what I've ever been through, I've had people fail me everywhere, in every way. And I just have come to the conclusion that I'm my very best friend. I'm the one who always picks me up no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can get to that place, I mean, I've worked my whole life to get here. So if you can get to that place, though, you just have a different perspective on life, and you don't expect so much from other people. You can really pull your own weight, you know?
Introverted. Yeah, I'm very introverted. Like, going to that magical meetup was so empowering to be around such good people, and we're all spiritual, and we had fun and met new people. That really got me out of the house and out of that routine and out of that energy of what's he doing? Is he? I mean, that is beyond in the past now.
Awesome.
And it's like, and I do have some close friends, but there are not very many. But those people that I am close with mean a lot. So yeah, I'm not a social. I don't go out to bars and clubs, and I just don't. Now my ex-boyfriend did. We just kind of had separate lives. Like, that was his scene and his age, maybe partly, and I would just be like, okay, I'm home, and my way to recharge is being by myself. But yeah, after a while it gets old. I mean, we all want, human interaction. I'm trying to find that where I don't dip too far into really being lonely about it, or, depleting myself just to say I went out, So yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I got another caller.
Well, thank you very much. It was really nice talking.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hello?
Hi, Amy. Hi.
Hi.
Good evening. I had a pretty simple question to ask you. I want to keep it pretty short and sweet. But it's coming like after just like a crazy week and lots of stuff going on. Today I had a really fun day, and I was thinking of reaching out out of like pure innocence. I was being guided, somewhat guided. Like, I couldn't really tell, like, what was guiding me. So that's why I like sat on it, and I wasn't sure if I should reach out, invite my masculine to come to an activity, and like it ended up working out that no. The answer was no. I'm at the activity today, and everything's good. I'm like not really thinking about him or anything, and I'm like enjoying a donut. I'm like, oh, I should get him some donuts for his birthday. Why am I thinking like this? If I should even should I do a sweet gesture like that? Like, no, probably not. It's probably not a good idea since I decided to cut him off. But I could tell that it's definitely really affecting me emotionally and mentally. Having cut him off, I've seen a lot, of my own. I was actually thinking of reaching out to you later on this week, so I don't want to get into everything right now, but just very simply, I'm like, to me, it's such a sweet, innocent, I love you type of an action, but then I'm like, no, I cut him off, and I'm going to stick with it. If it's meant to be, I'll reach out.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. So,
yeah.
See that being more effective, but I'm like, why am I inundated and in my heart, I start hearing a song that is really sweet and that I sent to him months ago that it's an old song. And I'm like, why am I hearing this? Why am I feeling this?
Yeah, it's I don't know, they haunt you. I think it's just like, I don't know. Because I get, I mean, depending on certain, like, different periods of my life, I'll get, like, all these signs and synchronicities for a number of them. I have these kinds of sweet connections like this with many soulmates or soul flames. And they're just letting you know that they're thinking of you, or they're letting you know, like, their 5D is like, I'm still thinking of you, or I still love you, or, don't put me out of the race, don't put me out of your mind yet. Still planning on coming forward. So it's just a sweet way that in the 5D that they stay connected with us and remind us that they're still there. I found that one thing that helps if it's really bad, torturous, imagine the cord between you guys kinked really hard, like clamped. Ask Archangel Michael, or whichever angel you like to work with. Michael's really strong, so I like to have him just grab it and clamp it, like a almost a permanent type of clamp. It can be reversed, but that way their energy stays over there and yours stays with you. And that goes for anyone who's feeling their twin flame too much too. Like if you're feeling their depression, or if you're feeling their anxiety, clamp that cord and you'll feel a lot of relief. What were you going to say?
Is it just not productive to like try and reach out in moments like these, or like, I mean,
well,
send them
like,
I don't know.
It never, I don't think it ever hurts to just share your heart. But don't share your heart out of, but I mean, don't share your heart out of neediness. Don't share it out of wanting something back from them. Just share your heart, period, for the sake of sharing your heart, because you're a loving person who is expressing how you feel.
I don't think it works.
That's it.
Connection.
Just don't. That's the thing about loving that people haven't realized. That loving, you're not supposed to love to get. That's right. Manipulation. That's not real love. Mm-hmm. Real love just gives to give. So, express and do whatever you want to. Just don't expect him to come to the table until he's. I mean, I just got intuitively, like, until he's a man. Some of these boys are going to stay boys for a long time until they can kind of grow up to be the man that says, oh, and I was picking up on something earlier having to do with so many of these men are so scared to hurt you. And it's not like they're like, hey, I'm a player and you're a nice girl and I don't want to hurt you, like that necessarily, although that does come into play sometimes. But it's more like these sweet guys have gone their whole lives with these karmic partners that kind of fooled them and manipulated them in the beginning, wanting things that they weren't. Maybe they were even fooling themselves, and they really just wanted the status or the money or whatever it was. And so they put up with things about them just to, like, make nice so that they could have a relationship that looks good on paper, that they could present to their parents and have pride in. Whatever that was, it's like they tricked these poor, sweet, divine masculines over and over. And then once they got them in relationships, then they were treating them like crap, bossing them around and doing all this stuff. And all of it is like the feminines, I mean, not feminines, but the karmic females, or just the karmics. Some of them are flat out really super manipulative about it. Other ones really genuinely do develop feelings for that person. Let me finish, because people interrupt me all the time. So yeah, because I'm also talking to the audience here. So it's not just for whoever is calling in. I'm not just giving you information. I'm trying to give it to everybody who's going to be listening to the show as well. So these masculines, what happens is they get beat up by these karmics over and over and over again. And they don't believe in love anymore. They don't believe, they would be shattered if something happened to where they feel like they get so beat down that they feel like they can't say things right, they can't do things right, because these karmics have just beat them up. So they have become incredibly, incredibly, incredibly insecure. And so when they meet somebody like you, when they meet someone like their divine feminine, who they can tell is like, they think is like way out of their league, and they can tell is like going to change their lives forever and love them like they've never been loved, they don't feel worthy of it, and they feel like they'll screw it up by something that they say, something that they do, a mistake that they'll make, and if someone doesn't feel, if a masculine energy person doesn't feel like they can make something a success, they won't even do it. If they feel like there's even a over 10% chance that they're going to fail, they just won't do it. So that's what we're dealing with here with these guys, and that's what you're dealing with your masculine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't really know. I don't see how that. I mean, he's single. He's been single, so I don't really know what that has to do with this
what do you mean?
situation.
It has everything to do with your specific situation. What are you talking about? Why do you think he's not coming forward? Why do you think he's not talking to you? Why do you think he's not going out with you?
I don't know, because he's scared.
Well, that's exactly what I just said. All of that I just said pertains to him.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it if things don't come out of my mouth unless they apply to you.
Yeah. I'm not really seeing what it relates with, like, the idea of, like, a karmic or anything like that, so.
Well, and that's fine. I mean, you don't have to, but, you can, I wouldn't wait around for him. I would just,
okay.
I mean, that waiting around energy is also, like, just a low vibration to be in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm not. It's that it comes.
It comes what?
It came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere.
What did?
It made me very upset. Oh, just thinking about, like, that I cut him off. Like, I was like, I actually don't like you anymore. Like, I don't have feelings for you like that anymore. Because I didn't at the time, and I just got the guy, like, tell him that, like, you're not holding on to him anymore. So I did. And
okay.
I was fine.
So okay, so that's what
a while.
Okay. That's where like getting a quick relationship spread or a twin flame check-in helps. You got to believe the cards over what they're saying, because these masculines like lie to push you away. It's very common.
Yeah,
you just have to.
I guess.
What did you do to him?
I told him I don't like him.
Oh, see? Well, you're proof. You're proof. Were you telling the truth?
In the moment, I thought it was accurate.
But it was just because you were mad, yeah?
I wasn't mad. I just was tired of it. It was like,
well, that's what I mean. That's the thing. It's like, you guys have to be to a place where you can be honest with your feelings, both of you, and not play games. You know what I mean? Like, not say things out of a reactionary place because you're mad at the other person, or because you're sick of it, or because, you know what I mean? I mean, you do get sick of it sometimes, I understand, but it's like, but be honest. I love you, but I'm really sick of dealing with this, so I'm going to pull back. Whatever that is, whatever the honesty is.
Yeah. That's what I said.
So at this point,
it was fine for a while. I was okay with that, and then all of a
until
sudden,
his birthday came.
No, it hasn't came yet. I'm like, and I was like, I probably will go without even saying anything. Christmas, we'll go without. And then this week, I'm like learning about like suicide prevention and like your support group, and I'm like, oh my God, I might have been like one of the people that like he felt like he can come to me for stuff. And I told him no. Told him like, yeah, I'm not interested in talking to you anymore. So then I kind of felt really upset and triggered by like, I don't know, having cut that off. I'm like, really, like, I think he knows that he could, but I'm like, maybe my words, like, he might perceive that he can't or he shouldn't. Like, what if something were to happen and I'm like, hey, well, now I have all this other stuff going on, like, internally with me. And it got very, like, very, very overwhelming, just all of it coming back when I thought it was like pretty mild comparatively.
Right. So you're wanting to know whether you should reach out to him or not.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if I feel that it's a good moment, I would, but I'm like, I don't think that moment is now.
Why not?
I was like, well, why not? Because every time that I do prematurely, it always backfires, and we always get into a big fight. And it's just not. It's always like hot and fast. Like it's like really like good for like a week, and then it's like done. It's like burned and like burned down to flames, like done. I was like, oh, I should never talk to you. Like I should just give you your time. Like, and that's where I'm at. I'm like, maybe you really just need to see me like done and moving on, and like just like, yeah, no, like, hey, let's be friends. When I told him, I said, hey, like, I don't like you like that anymore. Like, yeah, we can always be friends. Like, since he was pulling out the whole let's be friends, like, friends card. And I was like, okay. And I was, like, sat on that for, like, a week or two, whatever. And I was like, no, I actually am, like, really done. Like, yeah, of course we are always friends, but I'm, like, not liking you anymore like that. Like, I don't really see you like that anymore. Like, got to the point where I'm like, I don't even see what I saw in you. And so I got to that point, and I mean, now it's like, oh, I just want to wipe the slate clean all over again, like just in that pattern, in that repeat pattern. Like maybe it's best just to really like be done. Just like, oh, when I get sweet reminders, like, hey, like, oh my gosh, like these donuts taste so good. I'm like, I shouldn't be like even bothering. It just sucks because you do, like what you were talking about with your previous callers, you do have that love to give, and you're like, I want to be able to like spoil someone with that love and receive equally, but it's not really about that, like when you're twin flame. So it's, I'm keeping myself open and whatever can happen, but it's frustrating. It's discouraging.
Honestly, you guys are it's premature, like you said. It's premature, and at that premature state, you do have to just let it go, because if you guys are too codependent on each other, then this is exactly what happens. You go back and forth, you fight a lot, and then you go into separation, and that happens over and over until you get burned enough to like do what you're doing and back off. But that doesn't mean that you guys can't be together in the future, when you guys can take like personal responsibility and not play any games with each other and just be really straight up and more mature with each other. But right now, you guys are kind of still in that cat and mouse kind of playing, So if you want to say something to him, well, if you can say something to him, like just really honest and sincere and sweet, and not expect anything back, like, I love you, I just want you to know that I'm thinking of you. Just something like that. Mm-hmm. Happy Halloween. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Just something, happy birthday. Just do that, but don't be expecting anything back from him is the key. But I don't see any problem with saying something sweet.
He'll try for like a day or two, like be like, oh yeah, I miss you, like all this stuff, and it's like, okay, like that's nice, but and then I like the old me would like get sucked right in, like, okay, like, oh my god, that's so sweet, like it was just like, wow, everything I've been saying is actually true, but then he'd like come back like, oh, that's like totally not real, like no.
Yeah.
So it's like better maybe just to keep away. But it's like, is that
I would.
me to be like, I'm just not going to talk to you? I don't care what holiday it is. Like, of course, you get that fear, like that like anxiety, I guess, as a feminine, like, well, what if he does move on? But it's like, I guess you just have to love them to like trust the process.
Mhm. Yeah, let them do what they're going to do. I mean, you can't control any of it.
Right.
You can just say what's on your heart, and that's it. That's really all any of us can ever do. Share your heart and stay in a high vibration, and it's ultimately going to bring you the love that you want. if you can do that.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank
Well, I
you.
gotta go.
Like,
It's
gonna.
it's 111 minutes. It's 111 minutes. That's funny.
That is lovely.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a
good night. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Wow. So thanks for hanging in there with us, guys. These are some nice talks tonight. So hopefully you got something out of it. And I guess we'll talk to you next time on the Satori Show.